Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kid Lee, and welcome to the continuing coverage of E3 2016. Wait, do you guys hear that? I think somebody just hit a home run. So yes, this is the recap of the Sony Press event. So a little bit of background on that. The last 2 years, Sony has absolutely hit a home run. The best press event that has been done. So going into this year, a lot of people were like, can they really outdo themselves again? Can they really? Now, I don't think they outdid last year, but I think they matched it. So this was by far the best press event that we've seen so far. So to kick things off, they had a live orchestra. I mean, take a listen to this. Now, a live orchestra is not something that's new. Nintendo's done it in the past. But what these guys did was a little bit different. They ended up doing live music for every game and every demo they showed. So in addition to, here's all these cool games, it's like, here's all this music that goes along with it. So that was very, very cool, a very nice touch. And you might be wondering, the music you just heard, what game is that? They kicked off the show with the brand new God of War. Now you might be thinking, okay, another God of War, we've seen that, hack and slashy, top down, whatever. No. This is totally different. They're completely redoing it. This God of War is a third-person open-world RPG, something like The Witcher, and it looks just as good as The Witcher. The gameplay they showed for it was just very, very impressive. Normally, I would never buy a God of War game. I never played the other ones, so it's kind of like, I don't really want to get into the franchise at this point. But this one, I'll definitely get this one, because it's going to be sort of I don't know if it's officially being called a reboot, but it kind of looks that way. And the fact that they're calling it just God of War, it's not God of War 12 or, whatever. It definitely sounds like that's what they're doing with it. But that one looked absolutely fantastic. So next up on the list was a brand new game, a new IP called Days Gone. Now this might be the one game that people are a little, mixed about, because it's another open world zombie game. It's a third-person shooter, climbing, looting, a lot of the same stuff that we already have in dozens of other games. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what kind of spin, I guess, they put on this one, what the story is. If you're really into these games, I think this one is going to be top-notch. But if you're somebody who's getting kind of tired of these, you're probably going to want to stay away from that one. Next up is the highly, highly anticipated Will This Game Ever Be Finished? The Last Guardian. They showed just a very quick little game trailer, but the big thing is we finally got a release date, and it's going to be 10/25/16. And this is a game, they showed this game at E3 like 6 years ago. And they've been showing it like almost every year since then. There was a couple of years here in the last couple of years where they didn't show it. They did show it last year. And so the game is looking a little dated, but I think it's still really, really highly anticipated. So 10/25/16 is going to be the release date for The Last Guardian. Next up was Horizon Zero Dawn, and this is a game that they showed off last year, and everybody's like, wow, this looks amazing. So we got to see even more gameplay this year, and it continues to look amazing. I will definitely be buying this. Shoot, I'd buy a PS4 just for this game on its own. But this is the game where it's like the tribe of people, and you have the main character who is the redheaded female, and they're hunting these robotic dinosaurs. And as we got a little bit more information on it this year, we now know that it's going to be an RPG. We now know that there is looting and crafting. There is a full dialogue system, real similar to the BioWare games or Mass Effect. And you are able to reprogram the bots. Because there was one scene where she's like, I need a mount. I need to go a long way. So she actually found one of them, and she's got this like electric staff thing. And she like shoved it into its head, and she like reprogrammed it, and now it was friendly. She's like, oh, I got like a nice mechanical mount now. But that game just looks really, really cool. A lot of people are really interested in the story. It's like, how did this happen? The world end, and these robotic dinosaurs are here. What is going on with this game? But that one looks great, and that one is going to be released in spring of 2017. Next up was another brand new game, a new IP, called Detroit Become Human. This one takes place on future Earth, where we actually have like full androids that look like us, and it appears that it's going to be a detective story of sorts. The scene that they showed was one android who apparently was corrupted or something, had taken a young girl hostage and was on the top of a building and was getting ready to kill her. So the police send in the police android to try and negotiate with him. And in the scene that they showed, he was unsuccessful, and then the evil android ended up killing himself and the little girl. But then they did a reverse thing, and they're like, well, let's show you like 10 different ways on how this could have gone down. So it's going to be one of those games where, depending on what you do, what you find, what you research, that actually determines what the outcome is. And then it also has the dialogue options, again, pseudo BioWare, on stuff you can actually say during your conversations, and what you say during the conversations also change the outcome. So that one looks really good as well. Next up was Resident Evil 7. They showed a quick little demo on that, and they announced that one is going to be actually a VR game as well. So if you want your Resident Evil right here in your face, and you want to be scared to death, well then I think Resident Evil 7 is going to be the game for you. The release date on that is 1/24/17, and I don't know if it's going to be just for the PlayStation VR or if it's going to be for the Oculus and HTC as well, but we know it's going to be at least for the one. And speaking of VR, they announced the release date and price for the PlayStation VR. It's going to be released on 10/13/16 for the price of $400, and there's going to be 50 games that will be released with that sometime between that date and the end of the year. How many games actually come with the bundle when you buy it, they didn't really say, but I have a feeling like it'll be a pretty good number. In addition to that, they announced, they actually showed off just very briefly 4 VR games. One is a Farpoint, it's a space shooter. One is Star Wars Battlefront X-Wing Mission, and one is a Batman VR, and one is a Final Fantasy 15 VR. The one for Star Wars Battlefront, it really looks like more of a tech demo than an actual, like, really big game of any description. It looks incredibly impressive. I've got it on screen here. Looks really, really nice. But, unfortunately, I think it's probably going to be just that one mission, and that's going to be about it. Next up, they announced that Crash Bandicoot. Everybody thought there was going to be a new one. Unfortunately not. Instead, they are remastering all previous Crash Bandicoot games for the PlayStation 4, so I think a lot of people were fairly excited about that. Next up, the man, the myth, the legend came out on the stage, Hideo Kojima. And it was kind of funny because earlier in the day he actually hinted that he's like, "Oh no, I'm not doing anything tonight. Yeah, there's nothing going on." So he comes out on the stage, and he actually released a trailer for his new game, which a lot of people thought was basically going to be impossible at this point because they have not been working on it that long. How could they really have a trailer done already? And they did. And if you know anything about Hideo Kojima, you know he is a crazy man. He likes to joke around a lot. And so this trailer was like, you're just staring at the screen just going, what the heck is, what is this? I don't what, my brain hurts. I don't know what's going on. And that's pretty much what it was. I mean, it's like Kid Lee, describe it to us. There was a guy naked on a beach with a naked baby. He hugs the baby. The baby disappears. There's handprints everywhere. And then there's 5 things floating in the sky. No, seriously. That's what it was. I have no words. I have no words. And finally, the last game they showed was a brand new Spider-Man game. And it looked, it's a Spider-Man game. It looked great. It's probably going to be the best Spider-Man game that's ever been released. I think we're finally getting into the technology to where they can do it right. Visually, it looks impressive. And we'll just have to see where it goes. Now, technically, Spider-Man was not the last thing they showed. They actually did something kind of weird. As I mentioned, the second game they showed was Days Gone. Then they ended up showing an even more extended gameplay of Days Gone at the end of the show. But yeah, that was it for the Sony Press event. An incredible lineup of games. How they did it. There was something like 5 minutes or less of actual talking from the Sony people. I mean, they basically just went boom, 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 game, 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 game. No talking, just here's the games. Here's the music with that orchestra playing. And that is how you do a press event. Sitting there with the developers or their VPs or whatever on stage, just running their mouths. That's not what we want to see, and that's really not how you do a press event. It's all about the games. They showed us what we want, and I think they won E3. But yeah, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That will go ahead and do it for this video. I still got a couple more videos coming up for you, but this is the last of the recap press events. I'm probably going to be doing at least 2 or 3 more videos talking about other games. I'm going to be doing a video talking about just Star Wars stuff in the coming days. And then I think I'll probably do like a top 5 games of E3 type video. So yep, stay tuned for my continuing coverage of E3 2016. Everybody, of course, if you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. Thank you all so much for watching. And with that being said, everybody keep playing and have fun.
machine. It looks ancient. Where did it come from?